Hello YouTube, it's Chris. I'm in my Tesla Model 3 SR Plus today, and something exciting happened. Recently I recorded a video of me installing a Hansshow audio upgrade for the SR Plus, and I was really excited about it because I'd looked all over YouTube and really hadn't seen anybody record their experience with the installation, so I wanted to get it out as soon as possible. Funny enough, Hansshow watched that video and they, reached out and said, "Hey, Chris, thanks for, purchasing the product, and I hope it works well for you. Thanks for posting your video." They said, "Hey, we'd like to send you a seat massage unit that they sell on their site for about $100 Canadian." And they said, "Hey, can you install it, make a video, and see if you like it? Let me know what you think." So anyway, I've got the unit and I'm planning to install it and check it out. I'm going to film it and show you guys. So here's the kit. Let's open up and have a look. So inside the kit, we've got some basic instructions here. Again, I would recommend going to YouTube and watching their instruction videos before attempting, because these instructions may not make 100% sense to you. Here is the controller, and I think it says that it's a version 2.425 massage module, and then they give you a panel removal tool and Torx. And here is the wiring harness. So what's great about Hansshow devices is, and there's, what's this? Just some zap ties, but the Hansshow wiring harnesses are always do no harm, right? So you're basically unplugging existing cabling and plugging theirs in, so you're not cutting or having to solder or make your own ends. And they're all Tessa tape, so that if they rattle around, they're not going to make noise inside the car. So anyway, let's start the installation. So there's a bolt right at the front here that you need to remove. So it's pretty tough to do when it's that low. So first thing to do is lift the seat up to the highest point and go as far forward as you can, so that you can get your Torx bit in there. Okay, I think that's the best we're going to do. All right, so there's the little screw that has to come out. It's not hard to do, but you do have to reach up underneath. It helps to have a little light. Anyway, yeah, you can do that. So then this should just pull back. There you go. Just like that. And then we should expose that cable, which is the one that controls that wheel right there, which is what controls the lumbar support. So that's what they're using for the massage. It's the you don't have to do anything to the seat. All you're doing is using the air pump for the lumbar support, and it's going to cycle through. So that's what we need to do there, and then we're going to run the wires under the seat. So let me have a look at that. Okay, so I've successfully unplugged the key that was in there, the connection, and then wired in the Hansshow cable. So now what I'm going to do is I just want to test all this before I actually run all the wires. I've seen a bunch of people run wires back through here and they're messing with this, but there is a cable management tree up front here. So I think I'm just going to run along here up the front and underneath, and just zap tie to the existing cabling, so that we're not creating an additional wiring harness. We'll just strap to this one. Anyway, I'm not going to do any of that yet. I'm just going to push this under the seat at the front so that I can go ahead and install the controller module and the USB. So let me get to that. Okay, so now we're in the back, and you can see that it runs under the front seat, and we'll zap that up with our ties. And here is the connection to the controller. So there's only one place for that to go, so we'll connect that there, and then The rest of the work we have to do is here. So I think I'm going to remove my mat before I start, because this panel has to come off right here, and that'll give me a little bit more room to work. And then we have to get into the USB here, because this module needs power, and they get the power from the USB in the back seat. Okay, so let me get to work on that. Okay, so we need access to here. So this just pulls off directly. You just pull it straight back and it'll come right off. No tools required. And that's going to give us access to that power that we need. Then I'm going to follow this wiring harness and feed my cabling back down through here. And that should be good to go. And then I think we can test. So let me just see if I can route that up and go from there. Okay, that one has no relief tab on it, so you can just pull that one straight out. I just use my fingernail to separate it from the wiring to the receptacle, and that came out really easy. So now this is completely free. We haven't done any problems. I guess while it's off, I can look at it and clean it. And okay, so in order to route the cabling up into this unit here, I just had to pull off this panel here. And again, it's toolless. All it is these 4 clips. So it just sits in there, and you just pull it straight back and it'll come out. This didn't help me all that much, to be honest. I just kind of did it with my hand. Yeah, anyway, I'm not sure you need that. But anyway, now we've got it, and we can see if we can get this USB cable routed up into the center console. Let me try that. Okay, so I think my plan is I don't want to take off any more of this plastic. I'm just going to leave it. And there's a clear channel that it looks like you can use. So I've just ran a piece of wire, and I'm just going to grab onto the USB with the wire and then just pull it up and terminate it. And that should be easy, I'm hoping. If I was going to do this again, I think I would start here in the back seat, and that way I could feed the cabling down before I connected it back at the seat. I'm not sure why the instructions don't say to do that. Just hook up the power, or at least route it up here, then go under your seat, then plug it in, and then you could use gravity to push the wires down. Instead, what I'm going to have to do is pull them up. So anyway, I'll try that. All right, well, my idea of fishing the cable up without removing the panel didn't work, because these plugs were too fat to fit through the channel there. So I ended up having to take this off. This is not a big deal. Again, it's just 6 clips, but I did have to remove 2 screws at the bottom. The screws are the same Torx head that the front seat was. Okay, so now we have that off, and I can run this up. Let me do that. Well, all the connections are made now. I've got the connection from our wiring harness going into the T here. This is good. I've got power to the module. I'm not going to put any of these panels back on yet until I test thoroughly. But what you can see here, this cabling will wire under the little plastic routing, so you should not see any cabling at all once you're done, right? So it should be a clean install when we're done. But let me go test the seat now. Okay, well, let's see. You're supposed to activate, you're supposed to press this button 2 times within a second of each other. So okay, so now let's see if we can see. I put some tape there, hopefully we can see. But what it's doing is it's using the lumbar. I can hear it working. I don't know if we can see that, but it uses the lumbar airbag, and it massages, and it kind of feels like a heartbeat on your back. That's about the cadence of it. So I can see it going up and down. I don't know if you guys can. Anyway, I think this is going to be cool. I'm going to put it all back together now. And I think if you combine this with your heat, then that would be pretty cool to have in the colder, as the weather gets colder. Anyway, that's, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. Oh yeah, there we go. I can hear the motor working. Okay. So for cable management, I think I'm going to just follow the original wiring harness back down and then use small tie wraps, 4-inch tie wraps to tie these together to make a cable tree. They gave us some black tie wraps, but I think I'll save those for under the seat where people can see it. In here, you're not going to be able to see it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap a little bit of hockey tape around the plastic zap tie, just so that when if it's in here and it happens to be banging against another piece of plastic, I don't want any noise. So it's kind of like poor man's Tessa tape, I guess, using hockey tape. Okay, that worked out quite well. This goes back on nice and easy, no problems. I took the opportunity to just clean it. That's what's nice about, you know, taking your time doing this stuff. You can clean these panels as you go. And so I've now got this one back on, and I think I can just spin this back on and place it back into the 4 clips. And we should be good up here. I'll pop this little piece of trim back on and route the cabling underneath and around this side, round and up, and then start strapping it to the bottom of the seat. So just give me a moment for that. Okay, I think I'm good back here. This went on nice and tight. I've got the back panel, it only goes on one way. And I've just ran the cabling around the bottom of this strut. That way there's room in there because the carpet pushes down. And that way, you know, no one's going to catch it with their feet. Or if it's under the chair here and somebody sticks their feet under there, and they're not going to catch it. And then, of course, if you're moving the seat back, if you're moving the seat back and forward, the cabling is all out of the way. So the cabling up front now, I'll strap this to the top and allow it to move back and forward. Okay, and there's the finished product before I move the seats back. And then looks good. Nobody's going to catch their feet on any cabling or anything weird like that. Looks good. And up front here, I'm just going to use those small zap ties to follow the cable management, the existing cable tree up front, and then just put that screw back in so that we're nice and tight. And then this I'm going to put right at the front here. It's double face tape. I'm going to do that, and probably it's also got some, I can strap to these if I need to. So let me get to that. Okay, you're probably not going to be able to see this, but I'll try. I'll just show you my cable management. And under the bottom of the seat is a metal bracket, and it's perfectly flat and perfect for sticking that controller to. So that's what I've done. I'm going to try to show you. But let's see. There's the controller right there. And yeah, we got cable management. Sorry, this is really tough to do, but there's lots of things under there. So when you're, what you want to do is when you're doing your cable management, move the seat back and, move the seat back and forward, up and down. Make sure that where you're routing it, I would follow the existing cable management, because the engineers have already decided that that's the best place for the cable in the first place, and it won't get pinched or anything. These seats are really cool in the Model 3, because if you've got multiple people driving your car, it identifies to the to your phone and will automatically move the seat forward and backwards and up and down. So if you've got people that are taller and shorter, so these seats are always constantly moving. So you want to make sure that we're not going to pinch any cabling, you know, when it's moving up or down or whatever. Anyway, I'm just going to finish up. All right, so the installation's all done now. So how do we use the seat massager? Pretty excited about this. So it's easy to turn on. You just press the bottom twice within, I guess, a second and a half, I think they say. And you hear that beep. That lets you know it's working. Now it's going to sit there and it's going to work and massage your back for 5 minutes unless you turn it off before that. So it's on a 5-minute cycle. To turn it off, you just press the bottom and it turns off. That's it. And there's an additional feature here that you can have the seat massager come on automatically every 30 minutes, every hour, or every 2 hours. So the way to put the seat into programming mode now is to press and hold down for 10 seconds and then listen for the beeps. If you hear 1 beep, that means it's going to automatically come on every 30 minutes. 2 beeps is an hour, and 3 beeps is 2 hours. So let's, I just put this in, I want to try it out. So let's have it come on every 30 minutes, and that'll be kind of interesting, a bit of a surprise as you're driving down the road and you start to get a bit of a massage. So here we go. Let's make sure it's turned on. So okay, programming mode. That's 1 beep. That's an hour. That's 2 hours. That's off. So let's go back for the 1. So I'm going to press and hold down for 10 seconds. Okay, there we go. So I think we are set now to come on automatically every 30 minutes. So after using the unit, it's all installed now, and testing, I've answered my own question. So once you have the unit, your seat's the exact same. You can just use your lumbar support the way you always did. However, you've got this added feature that, you know, you can use it as a seat massager as well. And it actually works really well with the heated seats. So I think that's good. One question that I had was, if you set your lumbar support where you like it, and then you actually turn on the seat massage, does it end its cycle and then return back to your preset? And it doesn't. It just seems to stop wherever it stops and you're good to go. So that means you would have to, you know, if that was uncomfortable for you, reset where you normally like it. What I did notice is that you can stop it mid-cycle once the pump has completed. So if it's massaging you and you feel like it's in the proper spot, if you just touch the down on the wheel, it will stop it there and save that location. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to use it and check it out. That's what I like about Hansshow products, is they're all non-destructible, right? So they're plug-and-play harnesses that you're not actually, you're not you know, modifying your car in any way. You're just adding these external electronics to it. The install was very simple. Anybody can do it. So as long as you take your time and just, I think it's better that the car owner himself would do this, because they take more care of the things like the plastic panels and things like that that can get damaged during this install. And again, thanks Hansshow for, you know, sending this out to me and letting me have a look at it. Install went really smoothly, and I think I'm really going to enjoy it. And again, thanks for watching my video. That's exciting. And thanks.